All right, so we got some positive injury news yesterday. I'm kind of late to this, but I want to talk about it and recap some of it. So let's get right into it. Obviously, the 49ers are hurt on the defensive line, so they have went out, made a trade for Keon White, signed back Cleveland Farrell, but it does sound like the 49ers could get two defensive ends over the next 2 weeks. It does appear that Yetur Gross-Matos will return. And it's been a tough go for Yetur Gross-Matos these last 2 seasons with the San Francisco 49ers just because he has been so often hurt. However, when he does play, he tends to make an impact. So that's just his issue, is availability due to injury. He has just been consistently hurt. And so that has made it challenging for him to get on the field and make an impact. So he practiced yesterday. So that's big news. And there is a strong chance that he could actually play in this game against the New York Giants. So that is a positive. Also, in regard to Bryce Huff, Robert Saleh said that Bryce Huff could return next week. And again, these 49ers have been so riddled with injury. When they say and give a timeline for return, they must be feeling pretty confident about it, because they've had a lot of issues with the timeline for returns not coming through and following through and kind of blowing back on them. So, I always kind of perk up a little bit when they offer up that, hey, Bryce Huff, good chance he returns next week. So that is good. And Bryce Huff was playing phenomenally before he exited with injury. So you could get those two guys back. That would be just fantastic, all things considered, with the 49ers defensive line health as of late. So we'll see how that goes. There are a lot of other positive things. I would say the fact that D. Winters is back at practice is awesome. The fact that Sam Okiwanu is back at practice is good. Both of those guys are limited participants as of yesterday. And Upton Stout returned in a limited fashion as well. Ben Bartch being back, I think, is pretty underrated for the 49ers offense. A lot of people decided to, give up on Ben Bartch because he got rolled up on the pile twice, and had a lot of mess to say about him. Obviously, I was early champion for Ben Bartch to be the starter this year. A lot of people decided it was an opportunity to take shots at me and my football knowledge because Ben Bartch got rolled up twice. But it's been abundantly clear that the San Francisco 49ers miss Ben Bartch in their lineup. And he was playing very well until, again, he got rolled up on in the pile and suffered a high ankle sprain. Twice in 2 years that happened to him. Last year, it happened to him as well. Debo in the pile fell on his ankle and just getting rolled up. So it's not even anything that is even in his control. So I think plugging him back in at left guard should stabilize the interior a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how Matt Hennessy rebounds after last week. Dominic Puni's definitely been having a spotty year. Everyone on the 49ers offensive line seemingly struggled. I think Trent has been having a solid year. There really hasn't been a ton of things I've seen from him that give me too much cause for concern. Obviously, Colton McKivitz struggled against Will Anderson. But again, at a certain point, who doesn't? So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But while speaking on the offensive line, something that was a little bit upsetting for me was that the 49ers waived Drew Moss, and he was claimed, shocking, by the Tennessee Titans, who I think had the number 1 waiver order The situation with Drew Moss honestly just sucks because he never got the opportunity to play. He got called up, or he was active for, I think, one game. And then these last couple games, the 49ers had been elevating Nick Zakelj and dressing him and then putting Drew Moss as an inactive. And they've been playing Nick Zakelj, who, I don't know. But the why they never gave Drew Moss a shot at it, especially considering how well he played in the offseason and the preseason. And again, Nick Zakelj has been available for any team to claim and sign all year. And they're just hoping, we're going to be able to swing Drew Moss back around to the practice squad, and boom, there he goes to the Tennessee Titans with my boy Jackson Slater. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I love every decision that the San Francisco 49ers make. Actually, quite a few of them are pretty infuriating from a roster move perspective, but that it is what it is. I'm not in the building. I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what their views are on things, so it is what it is. I can only provide my perspective from the outside, and not a fan of giving away players that are clearly sought after for free. But hey, guess that's why I don't run an NFL team. But overall, that process just a bit frustrating. Also, and a completely other side note tangent, my number one draft crush last year, Teddy Buchanan, absolutely balling out. He was the AFC Defensive Rookie of the Month, and then he had 2 forced fumbles on Thursday Night Football last night against the Dolphins. And again, it's just like, the only reason why I'm bringing that up is because obviously the 49ers are dealing with injuries at the linebacker spot. Nick Martin seems to be banished to the shadow realm by Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan. Can't even get on the field with the injuries that they have sustained. And, just a little bitter. You guys know how I am. I love my draft crushes. And my draft sons, I'll defend them even against the San Francisco 49ers. It is what it is, man. So happy for Teddy. Not happy that the San Francisco 49ers, didn't draft him. And they had him in the backyard. They had him at the local pro day. He had the images of him talking with Patrick Willis. Hurts my heart, man. Could have been us. And he was drafted in the 5th round, mind you. So, Andre Dillard literally had a cup of coffee with the 49er. Honestly, I don't even know if he could say a cup of coffee. He had a sip, and then they cut him. Literally signed, I think, on Tuesday, or signed on Wednesday, and then released on Thursday. So, again, some of the decision making interesting when it comes to roster moves. They seem to struggle with like the fringe players, like the back end roster guys. They're very iffy on them. Sometimes you wish they would just hold on a little bit longer for some development just to see what happens. But again, I'm not bitter, I promise. I promise. But anyways, the good news is that some guys are getting healthy. Brock Purdy was limited. I'm not sure. Again, until Brock Purdy turns in a full participation, I'm not going to assume he's going to play. And so maybe with this being a East Coast game, MetLife turf, maybe the 49ers are targeting the following week for him to return. And I think that game is also against the Rams, if I'm not mistaken. So I think you have 2 division games, Rams, Cardinals, back to back. So maybe get Brock back and healthy and ready to go to try to win the division and sweep the division. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, you can tell I'm a little salty about my Teddy Buchanan and my Drew Moss. It's okay. I'm gonna be fine. I promise. I promise. I just care. I just care. That's it. I just want to see the 49ers be the best they can. And sometimes, you know, I'm not trying to be cocky, but I'm very confident in my ability to evaluate talent. And, sometimes I get it right. Sometimes the Niners get it wrong. Sometimes the Niners get it right. Sometimes I get it wrong. No one's perfect. But, ugh, it always hurts when it's a draft crush. They could help and can contribute, and they don't do it. And they go in a different direction, and it doesn't work. Hurts. Painful. But it's fine. I'll survive. It's not the first time it's happened. Won't be the last time it's happened. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.